you got to go for it. And that's literally your strength that we watched 7 days before that, where you crushed everybody, absolutely crushed everybody in those whoops. And
he's going to figure it out, and he's going to try to pull a Coop on Coop, pass him at the end of the race so he doesn't have much time to get back at him. And as you said, as soon as he started jumping the whoops, to me, that was it. He decided that second was good.
JB and AC, the energy was awesome. Those two are just like really finding their groove.
4 straight overall wins. $100,000. Adam Cianciarulo. Checkered flag and Justin Brady. Cianciarulo has won 2019 Webb Motocross Championship. He's gonna do it to become the oldest winner in the history of Supercross.
what's up, AC? How we doing, man? Are you good? You good?
I don't know.
It's 9:30 on the East Coast right now. I just put the kids to bed. But are you good?
I don't think so.
You're not good.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm good, to be real. Yeah. So for everybody listening at home, I went to sit down, start our podcast today, 1:30 on the West Coast. Perfect time for me. Had a nice morning, man. It was chilling. I was chilling, sitting out, I thought I looked a little pale on RDL this week, so I was sitting out in the sun, getting some vitamin D, dude, getting some sun on my beak. I was chilling. And then I sit down. Wi-Fi is good. Everything's set up normal. I've got a mesh router system in here that's like supposed to be more reliable, and that's what fixed our issue, because we recorded one show that we never even posted because of the Wi-Fi. So I sit down, get the camera on, the mic on, everything ready to go, and I'm glitching. Like all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm glitching, and we're all wondering what's going on. We're checking everything. I mean, this room stays shut. It stays shut, and I come in and do the podcast once a week. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And yeah, the Wi-Fi was just going all over the place. And so you guys were put on hold. You guys were sitting here for, I don't know, half hour. Then I went to Best Buy. I spent about $1,000 on a new router, a new modem, dude, a whole new mesh system. And get this is the best part. I go and I had ran an internet test, a speed test before, showed me my numbers, and they looked fine. So I go spend $1,000, set everything back up. I run a speed test again. It's slower. So technically somehow, so that's why I look different for you guys watching on YouTube, is I'm just doing this straight off the computer camera instead of my Sony 4K, whatever that thing is back there. And so I don't know, maybe it's a camera issue. We still don't know, but dude, I've been flustered, but it's fine. It's fine. JB, I'm really surprised you're not asleep.
Oh, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm fine. Got the kids to sleep. It's my 3-year-old daughter's birthday tomorrow. So she turns 4 tomorrow, and they're all having a sleepover in my oldest daughter's room. So if they come join me here in a little bit, because one of them can't sleep because the other one's talking,
I'm into it.
We're rolling with it.
I'm into it. Well, you gotta, I need a second to catch my breath after reliving the last 6 hours of my life. So why don't you get us into Pittsburgh a little bit? It's a good city, man. It was a good city.
Pittsburgh's a great city. It really is. We've had some nationals in the past close to there. Obviously, Steel City, Mount Morris, not too far away. And we know what type of fans are in that part of the U.S. So we knew that was going to be great. But for me, I haven't spent really any time in Pittsburgh, and I loved it. I mean, the second I landed, for everyone listening or watching this, there's certain places that you go that you just have a good vibe. There's a good aura when you get out of the airport and you get to the city and you're like, man, something kind of feels right. I had that feeling first thing when I got to Pittsburgh, and it never left. I love the city. I think it's really, really cool with all the bridges. You've got the along the rivers. You've got the cliffs with apartments on them. Like it just was a really cool city. And then obviously the Pittsburgh Steelers have a long history of just from Super Bowl wins to, Hall of Fame players. So to be in that stadium, there was a vibe to it, man. And we had a nice dinner on Friday night. It was cool. Stayed right downtown.
Stadium's nice.
I like Pittsburgh.
Like the actual stadium's nice. Right there on
really
the water.
nice, yeah.
The facility inside, like our booth was cool, where we had, between RDL and the live show call, where we ate dinner. That was all modern and cool. Yeah. I agree. Loved our dinner on Friday. Went to dinner with Steve Mathis. Where'd we go? Eddie Merlot's.
Eddie Merlot's. What was he? A little steakhouse, seafood.
And speaking of Merlot, I had a glass of wine just by myself, dude. You just left me hanging.
I'm trying to trim up, dude. It's summertime.
I've noticed that lately. You've been kind of watching some things you eat. I see you in the dining area after RDL, dude. You counting calories on me?
I'm not counting calories. I'm trying to cut some though. That's for sure.
Respect.
So you had a glass of wine. You got a little buzzed up. You're feeling good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good. That was nice. We walked back to the hotel, and
then, I was talking crazy, dude.
It was great. And actually, shout out to you. You paid for the dinner. You paid for me and Steve's dinner. What'd that set you back? Smooth 600?
Yeah, something like that. 600. I was hoping one of you guys would throw some cash on the table for the tip, man, but no, it's all good.
I said no. If you're going for it, you're going.
It's a write-off. I'm writing that off.
Yeah.
I don't know if I actually can or not. I probably shouldn't have put that on tape.
Oh, for sure you can. That's a business dinner there.
What's crazy is one glass of wine getting me buzzed.
Well,
that's
you
why.
left about that much in the bottom too. That wasn't even a full glass. That was like a 3/4 glass of wine.
I'm not, dude. I really haven't drank much since retirement. I think in a way I almost avoided it because I didn't want to get too crazy. I mean, you know me, typical. I'm just hardcore partier over here. So no, that was fun. And dude, your guy Vialle, you said it. You said it last week. We've been talking about it for weeks. We said it was time. He had to get it done back against the wall. He came out there and did it.
Put some respect on the kid's name, AC. Put some respect. I said it last week right here on the podcast. I'm fed up with it's not the Vialle hate. And I was guilty of it too. But, a lot of times during RDO, we'd open up the show or we'd talk about it on here. Or media outlets would talk about it, about so many different winners. And Vialle's got the red plate, but he hasn't won yet, which is all true. He hasn't had the speed to win, and he lacks whoop speed and all these things. But then I just got to thinking, I'm like, he grew up in Europe. He didn't take the traditional French supercross route where he rode a bunch of supercross like we've seen Billaman and those guys in the past, Marvin, Ferrandis even. So I don't know. I just felt like, wait, this is his third season. He won a championship last year and like the kid just wins, He's not a kid, but you know what I mean? To me he is. And I love the way he rides. I love the way he goes about things. He's never too high, never too low. Seems very, very respectful. And then he just gets the job done. And we've said it multiple times, but winners win. And he is a winner. And he finds himself a way to win no matter what. And whether he's leading championships or now winning this race, now he's got the points lead with one round to go. Like, who knows? Anything could happen. And I don't know, man. I like him. Especially, dude, AC, how about the crash in qualifying?
That was crazy. Dude,
Huge
if he would have clipped that jump with his body.
Yeah.
Cole, can we pull that crash up?
Yeah, that was bad. And yeah, because we didn't really catch it, right? We didn't know what happened, and we panned to a shot of him in the mechanics area, kind of getting his bike worked on. And me and you're trying to like analyze it, like, hey, what's going on? Oh yeah,
I didn't know if they were dropping the forks. Yeah.
Yeah. And then shout out to our camera crew on Race Day Live. They got a replay of it. And man, that could have been so bad. And he escaped it. And then he comes out in the heat race and kind of struggled, right? And then the main event.
That wasn't good. That wasn't good at all.
It was not good.
JB, I don't know if it's necessarily Vialle hate, like you said, it's kind of Vialle indifference. That's kind of the way I look at it. It's like just because he is those even keel, kind of like Justin Cooper in a sense.
That's a great comparison right there. Yeah.
Because they kind of have a similar body build too, interesting enough. And they both, the criticism of them both is the whoops in a way. And I was surprised that Vialle, he had that crash in practice, but in Q1, he was right there. I think he was P2.
Yeah.
In Q1, and those whoops where I don't think anybody was jumping through them at that point. So I don't know. There's something about Tom in order, to win 2 MX2 championships, to win a Supercross title last year, you have to have that ability to close a championship. And I don't know what it is about him mentally, but anytime his back has been against the wall, he comes out and delivers. He just delivers. And, as amazing as he was this weekend, and he deserved, absolutely he deserves it. I don't even know if I want to say this, but still, if he wins that title, dude, 450 class next year.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, then you're really in the deep end, and you just hope that a team like Red Bull KTM, which I think they would, but you would hope that they would stick with him for years, right? Not just sign him for a year or even 2. Like, he needs a pretty long runway, I believe, in the 450 class. And there's going to be this big changing of the guard is coming, right? From Tomac and Anderson and Barsha and Kenny. There's a lot. There's going to be a lot of turnover in the next, what do you think, AC? 3 to 4 years?
Oh, for sure. Like
then a guy like Vialle, that's when he'll rise up. That's when he'll be ready to rise up in the 450 class. So if he has to move up, if he wins, he has to move up. I just hope he has a long runway to kind of get to those 3 or 4 years where he can really shine.
You just have a sense with him, though, that he's going to figure it out.
Right.
As much as I've been, I've kind of been critical of him and his, his raw speed or whatever, but I saw it this weekend. When he needed to do it, he did it. And we saw him after he got up from that crash in practice. He wasn't trying to go for it right away. He was just, you've been there, I've been there, where you crash kind of towards the end of Q2 and you just need to go out there and ride a couple laps and make sure you're all right. Yeah. You just don't want to go back to the truck. You don't want to go back to the truck straight after something like that. So I was wondering if he was going to be in salvage mode, but he went out there and did it. And then it was kind of it was a weird, Hammaker was great all day. Great as always. And then started the main event. Bad start, looked like maybe a double clutch, and got hung up with a couple guys and going into that second rhythm section. And we've seen it. We've seen it in the highlights, whatever, but on social media, there was like a bunch of little mistakes. I almost felt like he had a flat tire.
That's what I thought.
I saw there was a quote, I forget where I saw it, but he was talking about, he said he felt like a sea rider. and that's like the first thing we've seen Hammaker since Indianapolis, besides the fall in the first Triple Crown main at Birmingham. He's been nails. He's been totally in control of his game. And it kind of surprised me because just with his injury history, with everything else that's happened over the last 4 years, it's hard to look at a guy like that that's still kind of rebuilding things and have complete trust that they're going, like we talk about with Coop and Webb. We have so much trust when we watch him ride. And he was starting to get to a point where I trusted him. Like, he looked that solid. I trusted him. I never thought he was going to make a mistake or anything. And then, the first 5 laps looked like the last 3 years for Seth. Yeah. But luckily, he was able to get the train on the tracks, make some passes. But, Vialle 7 back to the points lead. Hampshire's only 3 back. Hammaker, dude, we got a lot to talk about at Salt Lake. It's going to be so fun because you could have a case for any of those 3, right? You really could have a case for all of them. And Vialle could be, he gets a start and the whoops favor him and he finds a jump line and he makes up time in all these weird places. He's a little bit like Marv. He's like Marv 2.0 to me. That's why I think he will figure it out on a 450
just because he makes up time in all these weird places that you wouldn't expect. He doesn't. It's also why we don't talk about him a lot or maybe think of him as like this elite guy yet, because he doesn't have that whoop speed. He's not jumping these big rhythm lanes. He does everything really, really well and makes time in all these little places like Marv did. So you can make a case for him. You could definitely make a case for Hammaker. If Hammaker hole shots Salt Lake City, I think he walks. Like, I just think he's riding that well. And then Hampshire, we don't have to look very far. He literally got it done in this scenario 1 year ago against Kitchen, who was riding incredible all year last year. So, I mean, that's going to be awesome. We're doing the pre-show and the post-show there on Peacock and the main broadcast. Like, so much to talk about. And, man, I don't know. Like, if you had to pick one right now, we had to pick one, who would you even go with, AC? Who would you pick?
Who would I pick? I don't know, dude. I don't think I can come on here after me being critical of Vialle kind of the last couple of weekends. I mean, I give him his props. I don't feel like I'm unreasonable.
No, I know.
But
yeah.
it'd be hard for me to come on here and be like Vialle, because I don't want to be a recency bias guy. But now that I know that he has that in him, I think I was just starting to lose a little bit of faith, and I'm totally back. I'm back on the Vialle train.
You're all the way back.
And I'm pretty much, I'm all the way back. And I think if he can get it done on a day like that, and that's the thing I said even last week, is that it's kind of insane to me that it seems like no matter how bad the day goes, in the main event, he's always pretty much right there.
Yeah.
But all three of those guys, Hampshire, Seth, Vialle, their starts have been kind of all over the map. So it's hard to, I think whoever gets a start in Salt Lake, I think all three of those guys are totally capable of, like, mentally not throwing it away. There isn't, I don't look at Seth, Hampshire, or Vialle and think to myself, one of them's going to blow it. They all seem kind of equally as, I guess I would give the nod a little bit to Hampshire and Vialle because they've been there. But at the same time, out of all three of those guys, all of them at their absolute best so far this year, I think Hammaker has been the best guy at his best when he's feeling good. But it's one race, it's one day, and that's what makes it so fun when it comes down to one race, and especially a showdown, is that you could wake up that day, you know, sometimes you just have a bad day, or you don't gel with the track or whatever, and you have to bring it. And I think back to 10 years ago, when the East-West Showdown in Vegas there was no points on the line. The titles were already wrapped up. And now these guys, it's so much more stressful for these guys to wrap up a championship with both coasts. Because everybody's out there with, on the West, East, they all have their own agendas. Nobody cares who's racing for a championship. Like, that's just what it is. So, I don't know. It's great television, obviously. From our seat, just like the Triple Crowns, it's so much fun to watch. And I don't know who to pick. No clue whatsoever. Yeah,
I mean, what do we have? 7 winners now? 250 East, most ever in a division in the history of the sport. Like,
and
it's crazy. It's crazy to think that.
We'll get back to just straight up 250s here, but I think when Tomac went down, Jet went down back-to-back weeks, Hunter went down, I think you and I looked at each other like, man, we might have to scratch and claw for some content for RDL to make a good show. And it really has been, it's still been an unbelievable season. And I can't even imagine what it would be if those guys were still around. But it seems like if the 450s are getting a little bit stale, something crazy happens in the 250 class or vice versa. And we've had, I don't know, 18 different winners or something? That's crazy, dude.
19 now.
And we look back, I think a lot of us look back and, because of nostalgia, we look back to, 05, 06, 07 and think, dude, it doesn't get any better than that. But it was kind of all dominated by the same guys, right? Like Ricky, Chad, James, they could pretty much all crash in the first turn and still get first, second, or third.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I don't know exactly what it is. You know, those guys were obviously just, I think we were blessed to have those generational talents all there at one time, right? But I do think that just with the natural progression of the sport and how, you know, back then everybody was kind of had their own facilities, they had their own programs. It was all hush hush, and now you pretty much know what everybody's doing. I think that's a big part of it too. Now we have 6-year-olds in training facilities being homeschooled, and I probably helped that along a little bit.
Yeah,
but I have some blame there. But man, it's so much fun to be, I think, to do this job that you and I get to do, because it really is just all over the place.
Yeah. And I don't think we're done yet. I don't think we're done yet with new winners. But back to the 250s, 1 to go in a showdown. Who knows if those 3 win the race? You think about like a Thrasher who almost won this weekend. And then you throw in guys like Hymas who want to get another win. You throw in then the West Coast guys. Julian Beaumer will be good. Obviously, Deegan. Davies is riding incredible. Like, it's going to be so fun. Yeah, I can't wait for it. And if I had to pick out of those 3, honestly, I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to. If any of them walk away with the championship, I'd be like, yeah, I had a case for him. I could have got on board with that. So it's going to be exciting, man.
I like Chance Hymas. He's a good kid. He's a good kid. We talked to him before. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Come on, guy. Come on.
Are you sure?
Yes, dude.
Okay.
Hymas is awesome. He's a super good kid, hard worker, so much talent. So much talent. I gotta see something. I gotta see something at Salt Lake City, dude. Give me anything. Give me a qualifying lap. Give me a heat race.
What about another ghost ride? Would you be happy with that?
Yeah. No, I'd be stoked on that. But that guy, and the reason why I say this, and I know you're bummed, JB, number 10 on a Honda.
At least you say about once a weekend how good he looks. So I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I do kind of revert back to that. But dude, he's just too good to be going out there and being mediocre. He's too good. Yeah. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on during the week. I know his game plan is to kind of build for outdoors. Super important for him just to get through a Supercross season. I don't doubt that it's in there, which is why I'm being critical of him right now. But I don't know, man. He was when I watched him in outdoors last year, and that's some of what you and I were talking about this weekend. We watched him in outdoors last year. We're thinking, dude, this guy could be a 450 champ. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he's going to have a 15-year career. Like he's that good. And then loved him at the start of the season, coming in hurt, only a couple weeks on the bike, thought Tampa was unreal, P6. Like I thought we're fine. We are fine. And right now I'm like, I'm sorry, Chance, dude. I do like you. You do like you. And I would tell him if he was sitting right here in front of me, man.
No, I know.
Give me something. Just give me something.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I said that. So it's funny, we have so much time when we're not on camera, we're together the whole weekend. So we're talking Supercross the whole time, right? We talk life a little bit, but most of the time we're talking Supercross. We're rehearsing, or we're talking about how I want to open the show. Or we're talking about what segments we're going to do. Or we're talking about, hey, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of that guy? And so we end up talking about Hymas a little bit, because we did spend some time with him in the Honda truck and talking to him there before. Was at Foxborough, I believe. And he's such a nice kid,
dude.
And he wins in the mud, and you just see this trajectory, right? You see this maybe champion to be, and he just hasn't quite grasped that yet. And so that's why I was saying that, because we've had this conversation, and you will always say, I need to see something. And I think the reason you say that is just what you said. It's in there. Yeah. He's got everything. He's got the bike. He's got the skills. He's got the technique. He's working with Michael Byrne, a guy I respect a tremendous amount. I think he's underrated. We should probably talk about him more, how great he is technique-wise himself, and then how he teaches technique. So yeah, he's got everything. He's got all the tools. He's obviously riding with Jet and Hunter and the great guys down there at the Lawrence compound. So he's got it all. And I agree with you. There's some heat races even where you're just like, man, where's it at? And then main event will come around and he's kind of right there behind off the podium, and then he'll kind of get dropped. So I don't know. It's hard because it's hard to critique a guy like that because obviously he's trying hard. But in saying all this, he's got so much skill. It's in there. When is it going to come out? And if you're Honda and Lars and the guys over there, you're just waiting. It's any moment. It's Unadilla, I believe. Was it Moto 1 where he came out as like he looked like James Stewart out there just going through guys and was gone. So it's in there.
I'm sitting here thinking about, because I always try to put myself in the rider's shoes. I try to do that in life. Like in any situation with anybody I care about, whatever, I try to put myself in their shoes so I can try to understand and relate to them, try to understand their perspective. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, if I was Chance, and I know he's working hard, I know he's doing everything he can during the week, and he's more frustrated about it than I am, I can tell you that. I'm trying to think, man, if I was in that spot and I heard what I was saying, right? It's so hard knowing there's plenty of times that I would have said the same thing about myself during my career, and I see somebody that, of course, he's still building 2 weeks on the bike before Supercross. It's really hard to succeed from that spot. It's really hard going against guys that had great off seasons. I mean, an uninterrupted, no sickness, no injury, and to have a full off season, to me, that's where you like really level up.
Yeah,
that's where you really get better. And he didn't have that chance this year, so I get that. But I look back to so many times. I look back in my career, particularly around 2017, 2018, and I look back now, and I know how good I was. Like, I know how good I was then, but I didn't know that. I didn't know that then.
It's hard to see it when you're in it.
I didn't know it. I had no idea how good I was. Mm-hmm. And it's like I can see it in my body language when I watch old races. I can see it in my face in interviews. Like, I didn't have that belief, and I can't even imagine. And to be honest, I do not spend much time like trying to imagine this because that's just pointless. But I can't imagine what I would have been able to do if I just saw it. If I saw it then, and that's what I think Chance is kind of searching for. Is that belief that he started to cultivate last summer. Because he clearly has unbelievable skill. That's why there's times during outdoors where whatever, the fact of what he was able to do in outdoors at times, that kind of skill translates to anything. I don't care if he's doing endurocross.
Yeah.
Like he's just that good. And I think it's just going to take something to make him believe. But like you said, Justin, damn, it's so hard to see it when you're in it.
Yeah, it really is. And when you're in it and people are saying that, you're like, I know, but I'm trying my best. I'm doing everything, and I believe in myself. But there's just that 1%, like down deep, where you're just like, man, when it comes to the right moments and the minutes that you need to pull it out, it's just hard to pull it out. And actually, Chance was staying in the same hotel that all the Honda guys were, and I seen he was going to dinner with Michael Byrne and Michael's wife. And I said, I watched Hangtown Moto 1 this week, and I didn't remember how good he was to start the motocross season last year.
Dude,
like he was unreal. Unbelievable. I didn't remember that. I remember Unadilla because it was mind-boggling how fast he was going. But I didn't remember Hangtown, and he was like, yeah, I pumped up. I couldn't even ride the second half of the motos because I had such bad arm pump, and it didn't look like it. So yeah, it's in there for sure. So that's why I mentioned his name for Salt Lake City. A guy like that could just uncork one, and you're like,
yep.
Yeah, man, Hymas won by 8 seconds. Really? Yeah, I guess I could believe that. So there's guys like that. And then obviously Thrasher, we haven't talked about him much, but he was motivated again, AC. I don't know if Bobby said something to him again. I don't know if they got a talking to, but he was motivated.
He was motivated, and he was shredding the whoops.
like
dude,
every lap.
and I don't know. I think I'm pretty hard on myself, and I know you are too, with RDL. And kind of sometimes when we go back to saying the same things, and I feel like I watched the show back, and we spoke about the whoops a lot, but it's because we don't see whoops like that because they had a tarp on it all week. There's no water seeping into it, so they're hard as a rock. And I know they broke down a lot, but towards the end of the main, I wouldn't say a lot, but they definitely broke down. But we don't often see whoops that hold up that good. It was it was a make or break thing. We saw it in the 450 class.
Yeah.
And Thrasher they were slick, they were cupped out, edgy, neutral on the bike. He looked like Christian Craig, just straight as an arrow. Through him every time. Kind of like Cole Davies. I don't know what they're doing at Star. I don't know what they have on that bike, but dude, that kid is so good. And when I think about inconsistency, that kind of goes back to some belief stuff too, I think.
Yeah.
Like with Nate.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a bit. I don't know, man. I really don't. Like, I don't understand it.
JB's perplexed.
Like, what do you even say to that? Because at any gate drop, he could be the best 250 Supercross rider in the world.
Yeah.
And like no one would argue that. But it just doesn't happen often. It happens once a year, it seems like, maybe twice a year. And anything else in between. We did have an injury, though, so we haven't spoke about that enough, probably.
Yeah. Finger, right? Broke his finger.
Yeah.
Got
so
cleaned out.
Barely hold on. I honestly don't know how he was even riding. So
didn't he get cleaned out by a teammate?
I think him and Davies came together.
That's crazy.
I think I'm not 100. I probably shouldn't even say that because I don't know 100% sure, but I think that's what I heard. Maybe someone. I don't know. Something happened at the farm, and he got hurt. And he was still riding, and he's coming to his own right now. Like he's riding incredible. And I did hear today, I haven't even told you this yet, but I think he's our 4th at the golf tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Well, we should definitely keep talking him up then.
I know.
I've played with him before.
He can play, right? He's a good golfer.
He's a good golfer. He's got a good swing. Ball goes straight. He's always Nike head to toe, clean kit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm a little bit nervous about for you, like at this golf tournament Thursday before Salt Lake. I'm worried that you're going to show up in some like khaki, like I don't know, some cargo shorts and like some blown out polo.
Have you ever shown up to a Supercross? When was your first race? 2014?
Yeah.
Have you ever showed up to a race and looked over and seen me in the pits, seen me in the hotel, seen me out to dinner anytime this year and went, that dude's outfit is hack. What's that guy doing? I know he's old. He's over 40, but man, that is bad. Have you?
No, dude. No. And I think I said it on one of our shows. I remember St. Louis last year, and I just remember just seeing you around because, to be real, I thought I was scoping out my competition for like this
You're sizing me up.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm
gonna have a jean jacket.
Yeah, I got to dress better than this guy. Well, I'm screwed if that's the case. Now you do have the outfits on point.
All right. So now, in saying that, now you're second guessing me as my golf attire.
I think you're a fake golfer.
Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, dude.
You keep talking about how you want to beat me, and it's a best ball. It's a best ball tournament, dude.
Well,
we're on a
team.
team.
Be some bragging rights, so leaving there of some sort.
Altitude.
I'm locked in from 150 in. Just so you know, just leave your clubs in the bag. Just leave them in the bag. So we'll probably use Thrasher's drives.
No, I'm hitting the ball, dude. I am bombing the ball right now, dude.
What's
and at altitude, there won't be one single drive that doesn't roll out to 300 yards.
Okay. All right.
We should probably get back to dirt bikes.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
450s.
Where you want to start? You want to start right at the top? No, actually, let's start with that J Coop heat race. Let's start there. I mean, best ride of his 450 career?
I don't know if they hit the smelling salts before the gate drop. Dude, maybe a couple.
I think it was more than smelling salts.
I don't know what that was, but that was. I mean, he's the best rider in the world.
Yeah.
I don't even know a heat race. Is it 6+1 or 8+1?
Yeah, 6+1.
It's 6+1.
Even
Yeah, that
jumping
was
would.
crazy.
Let him jump. If he's gonna ride like that, just let him jump.
I don't know what that guy's paid. I really don't. I got no clue. I'd say probably.
What do you think? 300?
No, come on,
More?
dude. If Justin Cooper's making $300,000, then we've got a serious issue.
What
The guy's worth about $1 million.
Well, he's not getting paid $1 million.
No, I know he's not getting paid $1 million.
Okay.
But if he's getting paid 300, dude, I'm gonna I don't know, light my house on fire or something.
Well,
that's crazy.
Let's back into it though. 300 from the team. And look,
Dude,
pure speculation, folks.
No way he's making 300.
Couple hundred from gear, maybe 100 from a helmet, a little bit from boots. He's 650.
Come on.
More?
No, dude, I refuse to accept that he's making 300.
You think he's 500 from the team?
Dude, there's 250 guys making more than 300. I mean, I think probably Hampshire. Gosh, who else? Vialle's got to be making more than 300. I don't know what KTM. I don't know. I really don't know their structure. There's got to be 250 guys making more than $300,000.
Just base from the team, you're saying?
Yeah, just from the team.
Yeah.
250 guys don't get gear money.
Yeah, I just think. Look, maybe is it 400? Throw out a number. What do you think it is?
I gotta believe it's at least $500,000.
Okay,
I gotta believe it.
let's go ask him this weekend.
Okay, we'll ask him.
Should we call him?
But
Should we call
whatever
him right
it is,
now? He's embarrassed.
Yeah, whatever it is.
After 10,
Yeah, whatever it is, it's not enough.
it's not.
He's
enough.
durable.
Right.
He's durable. His bad race is like a 7th.
Yeah.
He's always in and around the podium. He's getting TV time. Like he's always kind of he's in the mix. I don't know, dude. And then you have spurts like that. You show, I don't know, to me, just the fact that he has that in him is every team there is should want him. Every team there is should want him because it's so hard to find somebody that is consistent and durable. And he's been there. I mean, since he got on a 450, even when he did his first year, 2023 on a 450, he did like 6 races, every one of them in the top 10 right off the bat. Guy just knows how to get it done. But the heat race, the raw speed that I saw, I mean, what in the hell happened to Chase in the heat race? What was that?
That was bad, dude.
That
was bad.
I don't get it. I thought he had a flat tire. I don't know. What was that? Burn his clutch? I mean, forgot what day it was.
Yeah, I mean,
that was not good. That was not good at all.
No, as great as it was for Jay Coop, but I think Jay Coop obviously had something to do with that because he obviously passed Chase, and kind of dropped him. And if you're Chase, you're thinking, wait, I haven't really ever had to deal with him. You know, like I've never really had to deal with him ever. A few times, right? It's not like never, but you would have to be kind of like in your mind thinking, wait, what's going on here? And then just walks away and Jay Coop wins the race. The one thing, I got a question for you about that.
Okay.
Actually, you might not be the person to ask because you won your first ever Supercross. But do you think that, or 450 class, I guess, would be a relevant question for you. Do you think that unlocks something in him moving forward? Like fully unlocked him to where, like, you know, there's always that one race or whatever you can look back that's like a kind of a career defining moment where you're like, that was it. That was the day I started believing. Do you think that he could look back on that in Pittsburgh?
See, perhaps, but it's a heat race. You got to do it. You got to do it in the main, I think? To get the full. Yeah, to get the full, because if you're playing, to play devil's advocate a little bit here, if you're starting to like that, if you're questioning yourself at all, the first thing that you're going to say is, well, it was just a heat. It was just a heat. But he was, I will say, even in the main, Cooper and Chase, obviously they've been putting a beat down on everybody. Mm-hmm. And he stayed within, I think it was maybe 9 seconds at the line.
Yeah, and there was a few laps, I think we were calling it out, that he was the fastest guy on the track. And he just couldn't quite get a toe.
And with those whoops, the whoops, it wasn't, still not his deal. When do you think next year, A1, do you think J. Coop has the whoops figured out? Because he's clearly got that. We've seen Coop. Cooper Webb.
Yeah.
The whoops are no longer really a huge weakness for him. I mean, I guess East Rutherford, maybe a different story. But in general, he's 10 times better than he was when he won the title in 19.
Yeah.
10 times better. So I think if J. Coop goes back to work this offseason and has confidence in himself, like confidence that he can go to any track regardless of the whoops and he can compete, then I think that's the only thing we're missing from a confidence standpoint. I think right now he's kind of a little bit reliant on, I think like when he walks the track, he walks straight to the whoop. You know, you've been there. You've had to have been there at a certain point in your career. I know I have. You go out on track walk, no matter what lane you're on, you're like,
you're looking,
kind of glancing.
Where are they at?
Where are these things at?
Yeah. I think he'll obviously go back to work this offseason. And I think if he stays where he's at and continues to develop the way he is, you know, I think now it's at a point where I don't think he has a choice. But I also think that I've seen enough from him at certain times that he has the skills to do it. There's just something that needs to be unlocked in his brain on race day when he looks at different types of whoops, and when they get to a certain point on race day, like they get really tore up, right? And I wish all the viewers and listeners out there could walk a Supercross track after the whoops are totally cupped out and try and turn that corner and look down the whoops and say, all right, I gotta shift fourth, and here we go. And I don't think he's quite unlocked that yet. So once he does, and it will take an off season, look, it's not like it can't just happen in a day or two, you know. It took Coop a full off season and full commitment. And I think Coop will even go to another level this off season in the whoops. So yeah, I do think he'll continue to get better at it. Will he ever be elite? Probably not, but he doesn't have to be elite.
Nope.
Right? He doesn't have to be.
Guy hits a corner like nobody I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, so if he can just be to where it's not a huge liability, then I think he's in the ballpark to win on any given night, right? And look, the elephant in the room is probably the best guy at skimming is injured right now, Jet Lawrence. So
yeah,
if Coop knows this, look, we know how smart he is. He knows he needs to go to another level in the whoops to be able to compete with Jet, because Jet skimming those whoops all night, no problem. Every lap,
every single lap.
Tomac,
maybe not with the A1 setup that we saw this year. Bike was all over the place, no good.
He was getting better though, huh?
By now he's skimming the whole time, and we got to get to that, dude. We got to get to that. But first, the first thing I'm gonna say is my day started off. I'm not gonna lie, it was a rough day with the Wi-Fi thing, dude. Bummed me out bad. But I was already a little bummed out because I opened my Instagram this morning and I saw Jet Lawrence posted a like play a couple golf holes with me. Guy looks like Tiger Woods, dude.
That swing's pure,
dude. I mean, it almost doesn't get any better. I mean, it's like I don't understand, dude. Like why does comes into the sport, wins everything, gets on a 450 class, gets in the 450 class, 2023, outdoor season, perfect season, right on my head, right on my dome, dude, just comes in and just knocks the shit out of me. He's won every title there is to win. And now he's got a perfect golf swing, dude. I'm pissed.
And good looking kid. He's got the accent that everybody wants. I mean,
you said it, brother. You said it.
Come on, Jet.
Dude, come on. Okay, now that I'm done. I'm done.
You got that off your chest.
I got that off my chest.
All right.
Well, I don't know if we need to start at Chase or we need to start at Coop here. But, dude, after the heat race, I was stressing for Chase.
Yeah.
It's not a good place to be, dude. I don't know what he was thinking about. I don't know what he was doing. I really don't know.
Hold on. What I say last week about Vialle and Chase? We might want to pull that up again. Cole, I said Vialle doesn't give me any grays. And I'm not getting many gray hairs from Tom Vialle. Sexton I am. I'm fully grayed up. I'm fully grayed up. Chase, I'm grayed out.
But this is what I want to know, Justin.
The stage is yours, AC.
I need you to answer a question for me. We saw Chase skim the whoops. Clearly, he's confident in the whoops after what we saw at East Rutherford. If you can skim those things every lap, I mean, my God. Cooper Webb said after the race that he still doesn't know how he even did that at East Rutherford. If Cooper Webb is saying that, dude,
yeah,
you got it dialed. So we go this week. Chase catches a toe behind Coop. Coop's got him kind of on that far side of the track, the rhythm lanes, the tight stuff. Coop's always been good there. I thought Coop was just a little bit more patient in his corners, like in the middle of his turns. He was getting through the turns a little bit cleaner. But Chase had the whoops, so he's fine, chilling. Did we see, every time he skimmed the whoops, call it the first 10 laps? Did we see his bike even move side to side one time? One time.
That's right, brother.
I'm saying one single time. Did we see it?
Nope.
So what are we doing? What are we doing going to jumping in the whoops, dude? Like, that was it. Like, that was the race. That straight as an arrow, every single lap in the whoops, and then just like, no, I'm just going to jump now. And now look, I would have never skimmed those whoops. I probably wouldn't have even tripled them. I would have doubled. Doubled through those things, dude. I would have doubled through those things, or I would have pulled off the track and gone home. So let's just get that out of the way. And I'm a fan of Chase, fan of Coop, fan of everybody. But I simply make it make sense.
I mean, I'm gonna preface it with this.
Oh boy,
we said it earlier. Nate Thrasher skimmed the whoops, the whole 250 main event, and looked unreal. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, you're right. Absolutely
Okay.
right.
Dylan Ferrandis, great rider, motocross champion, supercross champion in the 250 class, a great rider. He skimmed the whoops the whole main event, right?
I think so. I don't know. I honestly didn't pay that much of attention to him.
He did. Grandpa Earl, he's 86 years old or 87 years old.
Don't tell me he did it the whole main. Don't tell me he skimmed the whoops the whole main.
He skimmed the whole time. I had my eye on guys skimming. And I don't know if you've been watching Supercross lately, Adam. I don't know if you're a big fan of this sport or not. But Chase Sexton is a better rider than those three guys that I just mentioned in Supercross.
Yeah.
And a better whoop rider than those guys in Supercross. Why do you take the advantage that you had? And, okay, the championship's on the line. Actually, hold on. Let me get to a fan question real quick. Sorry to interrupt the show right here, but I've got to get to this fan question. This is very relevant. This is going to lead us right into it. This is from a guy named Ben Townley. You heard of him?
Yeah.
Good guy. 250 Supercross champion.
Great
rider. He said, boys, longtime listener, first-time questioner. Okay, I know you're going to already have this on your list of analysis, but please give the listeners a view from this angle. 8 days ago, Chase Sexton practically won the round in the whoops, right? Couple question marks. I haven't watched it, but by all accounts, he was on another level than anyone on the track. On Saturday, it was clear as Evian water, which is very clear.
Oh, my God.
That Nate Thrasher was faster in the whoops than Tom Vialle. Chase would have seen that, correct? This is Ben Townley's words. So when Chase started second and was behind Coop, my thinking is this. If I'm in his shoes last week and I crushed Coop in the whoops, right now he can't see what I'm doing, so I'm going to work as hard as I can to get up on his wheel, rail the berm, and pass him in the whoops. That's my strength. It's clearly faster from what I just watched in the 250 class. That's my move. But then out of the blue, he decides to play Coop's game and jump the whoops, which then lands him off the track. Am I missing something here? He's in a must-win situation. He has the guy he has to beat in his target. Play to your strength, right? Couple question marks. That's Ben Townley's question. So to answer your question, Adam, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know, dude.
I don't know because, so he started jumping with about 12 minutes left in the race.
Yep.
And then he jumped once and we're like, oh no. Like if Coop had a rear view mirror, just stop the race, give Coop the trophy at that point. Like it's done. And Coop had to, he didn't see it obviously, but he would have had to have been all smiles at that point because the race was over. At that point, at 12 minutes to go, and Chase Sexton started jumping the whoops, the race was over. That was the only place he was really going to pass. It's the only place you could get up alongside of him. And so to take that away, and then the second time he jumped was the closest he came to crashing all day long.
Well,
trying to jump the whoops.
Here's the thing, and I want to pull this up. And I want to break this down. I want to see Coop jump the whoops, and I want to see Chase jump the whoops. If you're Chase and you're gonna jump the whoops, what you can't do, and look, everybody at home, look, you can find any footage you want of me doing the same thing Chase did, okay? I'm not as good as Chase, and that's fine. But if you're gonna jump the whoops, you cannot hit the brakes before the start of whoop and roll. Because what Chase was doing is he was going around the top of the turn still, where Coop's going a little lower. He's still going around the top of the turn. And he was slowing his momentum down so much, as we see, watch Coop right here. You see how much speed he carries into the first three. How much he has to put, because he's carrying so much speed, he pushes the bike down on it right there. You see how he pushes the bike down, doesn't brake, lets the bike roll, carries momentum, downsides the first three, and then it's cake. It's absolute cake from there. Coop, of course, he jumps the whoops a lot. And we've talked about this before. I've said this in the show. But jumping the whoops is difficult. People just think that it's just bulletproof. It's super easy. And yeah, I mean, if you want to double through the whoops and roll through them, yeah, it's pretty easy. But when they're broken down like this and this hard and broken apart, it's hard. And back this up a little bit, Cole. Watch how much momentum Coop carries into this whoop. You have to roll the starter whoop. He pushes the bike down and carries the speed, downsides the first triple. And once you downside the first triple, you're good. But watch Chase. As it got later in the race, and especially after this moment right here, he slows down too much before the starter whoop. And then he cases the triple, goes off the track, and that's it. To me, it looked more reckless, more dangerous, Justin, for Chase to jump the whoops than to skim them. I mean, I guess I could be wrong. I felt like I watched every lap, but I would understand if Chase was out of control skimming the whoops. But look at this, JB. He's skimming the whoops in the beginning, just like this every time. I mean, straight as an arrow. Justin, straight as an arrow, man. Does it get any better than that? He looks like Justin Brayton himself.
He was good in him, man. He was good in him. And honestly, I think it was about lap 3 or 4. I'm thinking Chase is just sitting there. He's riding at 60% right now. He's skimming the whoops. He's just going to sit there and he's going to pass Coop down the left side of the whoops. No problem.
I mean, look at this. He was a little bit slower on the rest of the track, got right to his rear tire. And I'm thinking to myself, Chase is studying him around the rest of the track. He's going to figure it out, and he's going to try to pull a Coop on Coop,
Totally.
pass him at the end of the race so he doesn't have much time to get back at him. And as you said, as soon as he started jumping the whoops, to me, that was it. He decided that second was good. Am I wrong? Is that harsh?
I guess. And then, like Townley mentioned in that question, is we all talked about it coming into this race, right? That race in Pittsburgh, this was a pivotal moment. Chase has to win out, but then we think Chase has the momentum for the last two. The dirt, typically, if there's no rain or anything in Denver and Salt Lake City, favors Chase because his momentum and all the things he does great on a motorcycle. So Pittsburgh was the moment. It was another must-win for Chase, championship on the line. Like, I guess in my opinion, and look, I never won a Premier Class championship, obviously. Chase Sexton's a way better rider than I ever thought about being. But
Same.
in that moment, I just feel like, even if not throw caution to the wind, that's not the right word, but you got to go for it. And that's literally your strength that we watched 7 days before that, where you crushed everybody, absolutely crushed everybody in those whoops. And your mouth and my mouth were absolutely on the floor.
I got a question.
At that race in East Rutherford, he was unbelievable through the whoops.
We, in the criticism or the analysis or whatever, of course, comes from the fact that Chase is so good.
Absolutely.
Once you're that good, the standard is the standard.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the way it is, like, period.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you. Do you think that he thought he could win the race without skimming the whoops?
I mean, he must have. So it wasn't even halfway yet, and he started jumping. But I don't know. Honestly, I've never seen – Cooper Webb is a better whoop jumper than Chase Sexton. Chase Sexton is a better whoop skimmer than Cooper Webb.
Yes.
That tells the story, right? Like, that completely tells the story. I don't know what else you need to hear. So
let's run down the list of reasons why he would not skim the whoops. I guess the first
would be the first one. Risk, I guess, but
risk. But as you see right there, let's back that up a little bit, Cole. Let's watch that again. So this is why in the few times Chase made big mistakes in the whoops, he made a few big mistakes that allowed Webb to gap him a little bit. It's because he came out, and right here, this is hard to do, carry a lot of momentum over that starter whoop, push the bike down, and have enough speed to fully make that first triple. And as you see Chase right here, he comes out of the turn, kind of stops his momentum, he brakes, slows down, he tries to go from basically stopped to getting enough speed to do the triple, which already it sinks the rear down. The front's tall. You see how tall the front end is? As he goes off the front, it's almost like his wheel isn't even in the rut. And it's really difficult. Chase's balance is amazing. But when you're going from kind of stopped to giving it a lot of gas, it's really hard, especially when you're in a rut, to not get to the right or to the left. Am I wrong, Jimmy?
Back that up one more time, Cole. I want to point out something else. So when he comes right there, when he goes to load his shock, watch right. So he tries to absorb this first one, but his timing's a little bit off because he's not used to it, right? Webb's been jumping this whole main event. He knows exactly how to scrub, where to scrub. So he scrubs a little bit early, tries to absorb with his legs, and then as he goes to load the rear end, he loads it too early. He loads the rear end too early. So go right, speed up. Right there, the shock wants to unload. And when the shock unloads, that's what helps you get the pop over the next whoop. He tries to keep it loaded too much, so it tries to start to rebound, and that's why he doesn't get the pop. So where Webb, it's all one motion. You absorb it, and you use the shock's rebound to get over the triple. And he just mistimed a little bit. But once again, he's not as good at doing that as Cooper Webb.
And
he's better at skimming. So I don't know why you would go away from the game that you're so good at. Like literally he was unbelievable 7 days before that. And he was great 3 minutes before he tried to jump. So I don't know. Look, Chase is all of our friends. Like, I mean, he's one of the best guys
100%,
in the
dude.
pits, right? We're not trying to come down on him. It's just an interesting question. So now to go over the risk would be one of them, but it didn't look that risky. Now we weren't riding the bike, but it didn't look that risky to me. It looked safer, like you said.
And he didn't have a moment.
Yeah, I never really had a moment at all.
Never had a moment. And that to me is like, I can draw on my experience that if I had a big moment and, saw my life flash before my eyes, then I would start to jump the whoops in a similar situation, right? I was never as good at skimming the whoops as Chase is.
Yeah,
but the only thing I can think of was that maybe his shock was heating up. And I don't know, he felt uncomfortable. Maybe it was something was going on around the rest of the track that kind of got him to be like, oh, maybe it's just not worth it. I'm going to have to figure out how to win the race, jump in the whoops.
Maybe. And
but
actually that's a good point, Adam, because that, in my experience, when shocks get hot, they would always speed up. So the rebound would get faster.
Same.
And that's actually, now saying that, maybe he was expecting the shock to load it a little bit longer, but maybe it was heating up and it went to rebound faster. So his timing, even just jumping the whoops, was a little bit off. Now, purely speculating, but that's what I've had happen before when shocks would heat up and kind of start to fade, is they would always speed up. And so that could be too. Maybe he was used to it not being as fast as that, and then you mistime the whoops and you're off the track. The second thing I would think about is why he wouldn't go to skimming, which I'm not buying at all, is it's harder, right? Like to guys, now for me it would be harder to jump because I wasn't as good as that. Skimming whoops, it was almost like I wasn't resting, but it wouldn't ever tire me out more than jumping.
Yeah.
But some guys it would. But I think anyone
right here, brother.
So it would tire you out more skimming.
Well, if I was skimming them, like especially towards the last couple of years of my career when I was, definitely.
Okay, so that could be a question: is like, was it tiring him out? Chase
Definitely
Sexton's
not, dude.
He's so extremely fit. It's crazy. Like he's arguably the best.
He's not getting tired.
Like he's not getting tired.
It could be 3 sets of whoops on the track. It's not happening.
Exactly. And we just seen him skim 2 sets of gnarly whoops back to back 1 week ago. And, so I'm not really buying that either. So I don't know. Be interesting to ask him. Let's ask him this weekend. And I'm sure he has a great explanation.
Yeah, I would love to. So it's difficult. It's difficult to know what exactly it is, but he must have thought he could win the race.
Yeah.
Must have thought he could win the race jumping him. I thought maybe he was going to, he, of course, maybe just thought it was risky. I mean, that's probably the most plausible explanation, right? Is the fact that he just thought it was too much risk. Maybe he had a line. Maybe he had a line that he liked, that he saw on the sight lap, that he was down to do. And then maybe one of the whoops broke away. And maybe he wasn't so confident anymore. And maybe he thought to himself, I'd be better off. I'd be better off jumping through the whoops and getting second than trying to skim them and going down, and there's championship really, really over. I mean, there's a few different ways we can look at this, right? I mean, we're just analysts, but I did think that is, that's Chase's advantage. That's where he wins and loses the race. But even more so, and what we really haven't talked about, is just how unbelievably good Cooper Webb is and was. I mean, the guy, it's almost, I even said it on RDL. I was talking, of course, singing Chase's praise, rightfully so, because what he had done the week before, I mean, that was still one of the best performances in Supercross, most dominant performances we've seen in, a decade. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. But I said it as like, anytime it seems like Coop doesn't have it, he shows us we're all wrong. We're all wrong.
Yeah.
He's so good, man. He's so good. He came out in practice. He was unreal in practice. Sprint pace. He's right there. And then main event, just wire to wire, man. Wire to wire. Cradled the baby. Baby afterwards. Put the finger put the finger gun away, and now we're cradling the baby, dude. I loved it. It's like an NBA. It's like I watch basketball all the time. It's like a NBA kind of taunt, if you will. But man, just what a performance from the two.
Put the gun in the gun case and went and rocked the baby to sleep, I guess.
Dude.
I mean, and how about his one-liners? Like, they're just unbelievable.
Dude, you know what's crazy? And I like, what's crazy is he said, did you see him in the press conference?
Yeah.
Did you see what he said in the press conference?
I had to switch it up, man. I got finger bangs, so you got to come up with something new, right?
Yeah.
Said he got finger banged last weekend, dude. That's crazy.
So we had to come up with something new.
He knows what he's doing, too.
Oh, he knows what he's doing.
Gosh, I love that, though. And I love even on the podium, the back and forth, and we've talked about it. There's a lot of respect there.
Yeah.
And I love on the podium, you know, he was talking Chase up, saying he's a hell of a competitor. Like, you can have both. You know, you guys can kind of go back and forth, be chippy like that, but still have the respect there. I think that's peak sport.
Yeah, it comes down to respect, right? Like, if your competitor knows that you have respect for him, I think this rivalry could continue for a long time the way it's going.
Yeah.
And appease all of us fans, but also continue to have the respect and race well. And like if you're Coop, you would never think that Chase is going to come in and just absolutely clean your doors. Like you would never think that, right? Vice versa. You wouldn't think that Coop would come in and do the same. So there's that level of respect that they have for each other. And honestly, that's really cool to see. It's not that much fun, even on our side, when it starts to get disrespectful, right? Because you should have so much respect for Chase Sexton. The guy's unbelievable.
Seriously,
and Chase should have so much respect for Coop. So, I mean, in the press conference, when Coop's sitting right next to Chase when he's saying this stuff, you know, and Chase is just kind of smirking. And so, I think it's great. Unfortunately, it's 12 points now. And
what's the percent? What's the percent chance that Chase wins this thing now? 5?
Yeah, I mean, something just would have to happen, right? Like, we'd have to. The thing is, I mean, you don't have to look very far ago that this happened. Eli Tomac at Denver not long ago. So, but before that, I mean, it'd been years and years and years, and it's so uncommon. And if things go the way that they're probably should or supposed to or have been going, then Coop wins the title. But for sure, you never know. And I think Coop is smart enough to know that, right?
Yeah. Oh,
and
definitely.
That team, they're smart enough to know, like, hey, we need to go win these next two.
And it's not easy to get second.
He's got that mindset. What's that?
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's not easy to get second either.
No.
These guys have been unreal, and that's what I saw. I saw a quote from Coop today saying that, but it's not just a given that you go out there and beat the best riders in the world, right? But even and we'll talk about that in the next couple of weeks and what it means for Coop to win 3 Supercross titles. And I've said it on RDL, but I really think that in terms of Supercross, I don't think we put enough respect I don't think we talk about Coop enough in what he's been able to do. He's got over 30 wins. I mean, 3 if he had 3 titles, I mean, he's one of the greats. I said it a couple of weeks ago. But just, if he's able to do it, and we'll get to that when it comes. Yeah. But just incredible.
Yeah, unreal. Incredible. And he started the day. There was a little bit of a rain delay from pulling the tarps and everything, so they didn't have free practice. They had 2 8-minute qualifying sessions, and we were kind of analyzing, right? Sexton chose to kind of roll out there, and we were talking about that and what that's going to mean. Now he's only going to have about 6 minutes left, and then he got stuck on a tough block, so now he's only going to have 3 laps to lay it down a heater. And every time we went to Coop, he's on a fast lap. He's on another one. He's on another fast lap. And it just seemed to me like he was setting the tone early. Agreed. And I love to see that. And for me as a racer, I always love to – first qualifying session always meant so much to me just because, like, if you were behind – if you were a step off or a foot off, like, it was hard to rebuild that. So I love to see Coop try to take off first. And he looked motivated. He looked like he was ready to go. He qualified fastest in the first qualifier. Chase got him the second one. But Coop, man, he's so good. He is so good. and just we've said it all. We say it all the time, but here we go again. To come back and win this race was incredible.
I'm just glad. I'm just glad that we still got a couple of races to go. I'm just glad we had an exciting season.
Yeah, it's been great.
After Jet, Eli, Hunter, all that went down, I was like, and I know I said this earlier in the show, but these guys have really kept it incredibly entertaining. And you got the 250 class. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to watch. And yeah, barring anything crazy, Coop getting close to Mount Rushmore. If he can get a fourth, dude, woo!
Oof.
Woo!
Yeah.
Crazy. Dude,
get him to 3 first. I think, I mean, that'd be, who knows what's going to happen, but this weekend was such a pivotal moment in this season. And it's been fun sitting next to you on Saturday talking about this stuff, man. It really has.
Dude.
Like, it's been an epic season, and you and I can relate to these guys so much of just how good they are. I think we say it multiple times. If we don't say it on air, we say it to each other a bunch of times, just how good these guys are. And, dude, it's been so fun. Pittsburgh was a fun weekend. And 2 more, man. 2 more. On to Denver.
JB, I know it's your bedtime. Man, what is it? What is it, 11 there? Almost 11, 10:45? That's incredible, dude. I didn't even know you were capable of that. I pretty much have to carry you in my arms to the car, to the hotel to get you out of there, dude. It's like, it's crazy. It's crazy how down bad you are. If it's anytime after 9:30, it's
come
insane,
on,
dude. I don't know. You've been playing too much shuffleboard during the week or what's going
that's
on.
right.
But,
that's right.
I know you got to get to bed.
Bingo finished a little bit ago, so I'm good.
I know you got to go to bed, so let's get into some fan questions. Cole, what you got for us?
So Chris Young asks, "Hey guys, love the pod and RDL. Keep up the awesome work. Question: even with a fairly successful Soupy season, are races like Pittsburgh the reason Chase is looking outside KTM for 26? He made comments about having difficulty turning, etc., and just wondering if you think the inconsistency or lack of trust/confidence in the bike is why he's rumored to be leaving."
Well, first off, I appreciate you, Chris Young. Appreciate the support of the show. I don't know how I feel about Soupy. I feel like it's either SX or Supercross. I don't think I'm okay with Soupy. It's like
You're
people
not into
saying,
it?
It's like, people don't hang out in California when they say Cali.
Cali.
Yeah, like, dude, you can't do that, man. Okay, so SX or Supercross. I'm not sure. I know in my experience with just riders and leaving teams and whatnot, most of the time it's just like anything else. It's human nature. The grass is greener on the other side. In my experience, being around guys that have switched around, it's almost you're swapping one set of problems for another set of problems, basically. Nobody's perfect. There's always going to be like some conflicting personalities on the team. That's just the way it goes. It's the way it goes. And occasionally it does, you see a rider go to a new team and they just really gel and click, and it's great. So it could just be a little bit of grass is greener on the other side. Could be some internal things. Maybe they have a different idea of sometimes team manager, the team in general sees a direction for the bike that the rider doesn't agree with. And it's like pulling teeth to try to get the bike where you want it. And I'm not sure if it's there. I would think that normally a rider of Chase's caliber that can go out there and win every time, win a championship, they can pretty much do whatever they want to the bike. I would say, right, Justin? Yeah?
Yeah, it's a difficult question just because, we see weekends like East Rutherford and we're like, why would you ever think about riding another motorcycle? So, yeah, it's not only at the races either. I'm sure it stems from during the week. Sure, there's so many layers to that, especially a guy at Chase's level, that it'd be hard to even speculate. But obviously, if he is looking somewhere else, there's something going on. And typically it comes down to the motorcycle on Saturday night. And
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I know. Yeah, I don't know. I just see stuff. I see stuff on social media like everybody else. And I haven't been down in the pits. You see me, JB. We went and talked to Hymas a couple weeks ago. I haven't even been in the pits since like January.
You're anti-pits.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it could have something to do with, I know KTM's been having some financial stuff go on. I don't know. Maybe that's scaring them. I have no idea. But from my end, I haven't heard. I really genuinely haven't heard much on where he's going, the potential of him leaving. I don't think there's anything like he hasn't signed anywhere, nothing like that. But I don't know, man. Yeah, it's hard. It's all based off the rider's kind of personality, I guess. So that's a real. Sorry, Chris Young. That's a pretty shit answer. But that's what we got for you.
Switching to West Coast since we're going to Denver. Aaron Mason 9 asks, if you were a team manager, who would you sign between Davies and Deegan for the same amount of money?
Ooh,
That's hard.
that's
It's
a
hard.
tough one.
It's a tough one
How
because
long
we
are we
haven't.
signing him for? Is it long term? 3-year deal? 5-year deal?
Doesn't say.
Oh. Mm.
Well,
I
I will say that we don't have a massive sample size on Davies yet. We have Supercross. We know he's unreal in Supercross. We would think that would translate to outdoors in the playoffs, but we don't know. We don't know. Deegan, as of right now, is going to get you a lot more exposure. He's probably going to sell more motorcycles for you. Even if Davies wins 10 times and Deegan's wins 6, Deegan's probably still selling more bikes as of now. Because, I mean, Davies is just getting into it, right? He's finding his personality. He's 17, man. He hasn't had much time to do much of anything. So as of right now, given everything that all we have to go on, Deegan.
Yeah, I'm with you. If we're signing him today, you have to go Deegan, but we might regret it in 3 years' time.
Okay. Yeah, dude.
Davies
I don't
is
know.
good,
I
man.
mean, here I think Deegan at 17 versus Davies at 17. I think Davies has been a little better.
Yeah, I mean, there's no, that's not even a question. I think
Yeah.
Hayden would probably say that himself.
Yeah. But I don't know. It depends on different teams value the whole brand thing different too.
Totally, yeah.
Some teams could care less.
Yeah.
No, some teams, it's not could care less. It's couldn't care less. I make that mistake all the time. Some teams couldn't care less if you have 2 million Instagram followers and it just depends on who's the team manager, like what their philosophy is. And some teams, that's a big deal. So,
yeah. Here's the thing. I don't think you can go wrong with either.
no.
But I think if we're sitting here today and you had to sign one, you have to go Deegan. But in my opinion, Cole Davies in 3 or 4 years on a 450, that kid's going to be solid. He's going to be
USDA prime choice certified problem.
He's going to be some Australian Wagyu that we had on Friday night in Pittsburgh.
I don't even know what that means, but I love it. I'm signing JB. I'm signing Justin Brayton.
Dude, you're going to get a lot of 5ths and 6ths.
I can get another. I think I can get another 5 years out of you.
Please.
No,
Please. I'm thinking it. Never mind.
No, tell me.
Never mind, dude. Never mind.
You're out?
No, I'm thinking about coming back.
You should.
Yeah.
So I'm play-by-play and analyst, RDO?
You're just running the whole show.
Don't come back.
Dude, no shot.
Don't come back.
How many times do you and I say, I'm so glad we're not out there right now? Because these guys are so good.
So good, man.
We say it like 10 times a weekend.
I am supposed to be getting my 450.
Start
Wednesday.
prepping, dude. Me and you in Charlotte, first round of the playoffs, head to head, lap time battle.
I'm in.
In the comments, beginning of September, if me and AC we start riding next week, who's got the faster lap time? Let's hear it,
dude. I
grind
no
it tomorrow
whoops,
morning.
no whoops, big jumps and berms. It's
Dude,
over.
you're not hitting no quads.
I'll
You're
come
not hitting
straight
any
out.
quads.
I won't ride all summer, and I'll come straight out to an SMX track and
Please
wipe the floor with your old ass.
You're not hitting any quads.
Respectfully.
You're going to start like we started RDL this week at the Group C, OJ in the finish line off the berm.
What did I say? What did I say after I opened on RDL this week? I was like, dude, that was terrible. I was in between our first commercial break. I was like,
Oh, you were stressing.
dude, it was bad. I
Well,
gotta tighten it up this week. But dude, I'm gonna go. I've had a stressful day. I'm gonna go watch a movie, kick it, chill. I don't know if this was our best work. I don't know. Probably wasn't as good as last week, guys. So
fun,
stick with me. Rough day for me, but appreciate everybody support. It's been a lot of fun doing this. And yeah, JB, you're awesome. Cold Beach, you're awesome.
Thanks, AC. We'll get that Wi-Fi figured out. We'll get it figured out. Hang in there.
Okay.
Go watch a movie. Go watch 8 Seconds. Best movie ever made.
Dude, yeah, that's a whole. We'll save that for the next. We'll talk about you and your lack of movies that you. The guy's never seen Saving Private Ryan.
No.
It's just weird, dude.
No
it's
need, man.
weird and it's inappropriate and I don't know, dude. You got to tighten it up. You got
Go
to
watch 8 Seconds and
Loose program.
Order that cat tree off Amazon, and we'll talk next time. See y'all.
Wow.
On to Denver. Later, boys.